was called Aldo himself.
It scares me that I brought someone in my home.
Here I am again doing another video. Today we're going to be cooking
With plenty of suspicion, but little hard-headed,
tacos.
detectives let Patty go. But before she left,
Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this chicken.
what did she know about that young man? What sort of story was she spinning
And I'm going to
out?
put it in this frying pan here.
It was clear now that Jaime Ramos was the leading man, the key to solving the case. Even if he wasn't involved, well, he surely would have known who was. But how could they get him? He could be anywhere by
I'm going
now.
to brown up the chicken.
As the detectives dug into Jaime's background, they found he was devoted to his grandmother, the woman who raised him. Maybe she would know where he was.
And I explained to her the situation he was in and the reasoning for me needing to talk to him. Because, to be honest with you, we knew nothing at that point.
She must have been pretty shocked.
She was. She was devastated. And within 24 hours, I had a phone call from Jaime Ramos.
Who, after stalling for a few weeks, finally
We're going to add a little bit of adobo.
answered questions in person. But on the day Jaime
Add to your own taste because I never measure
was a
this stuff.
no-show. Instead, detectives Lansing and Hodges received an urgent phone call.
Patricia had gone missing.
A month to the day after Ron's murder, the two detectives were back at the Presba house, investigating another strange and violent crime.
There was forced entry into the house. There was blood. A kidnapped note found at the house.
What did the note say?
It was a light piece of paper, printer paper, with cut out pieces or cut out letters from a magazine and glued to it, stating that I had taken her.
Did it occur to either one of you that maybe Ramos himself had killed him, that he was behind this?
We really didn't know. We didn't know if Mr. Ramos had anything to do with this, because we had no indication that he'd been back.
Okay, we're going to let that brown.
The second investigation.
Then, once that's done,
Again,
I already got some brown browned
they were quietly approached by one of
brown
Pat's
turkey meat, which I'm going to add to the chicken meat.
question.
She said is there a dead body in the house? And I said, well,
Meantime,
no, the detective
I'm going to
said.
open this up,
She said, my mom called last night and asked her.
put it in the back there, let it
Coming up,
simmer for a little while.
body that was supposed to be.
As we opened the door and walked into the room,
Let it produce its own juices. So what I like to do is, when I open up a package like this, put it in a drainer and run some water through it, rinse it out a little bit.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, son. That's great. You made me so proud.
Thanks.
What's that?
See, I set it all over here, and then I'm going to run some water through it.
The latest 4G phone starting at $28.88. Save money, live better. Let's show them what a breakfast with all
One coffee with brew, one large mocha latte. Medium macchiato, light hot chocolate all the way, 2 espresso. Make one now.
She's full and focused.
They have 2 cappuccinos, 1 coffee with room, 1 large mocha latte, a medium macchiato, a light hot chocolate whole whip, and 2 espressos, 1 little shot.
That's not the coffee talking.
Start your day with Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheat Cereal. The 8 layers of whole grain fiber help keep you full, so you can avoid that morning hunger.
No, thanks, I'm good.
I had a heart problem. I was told to begin my aspirin regimen. I just didn't listen.
It's down low.
Almost lost my
The
life.
flame is down low.
Again, ordered me to take aspirin, and I do.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you
Just
begin.
cover it up.
Listen to the doctor. Take it seriously.
We believe that love is a chemical reaction. Chemistry has a good chance to make the world a more harmonious place. Chemistry works so that sandwiches end up loving the water. Catholics are less afraid of energy bills. And even cars and clean air are longer.
download My Services account, digital and iPad. The ability to watch your TV anywhere around your home.
Now we're going to turn this down low.
Cooking dinner. In the garage. Keep your iPad handy to watch channels like Comedy Central, A&E, Discovery Channel, and CNN, just to name a few.
I'll turn it up for right now.
TV app today.
Meantime,
Or at brighthouse.com/.
pounding on some garlic.
A Motel 6 parking lot within screaming distance. The Salt Lake City Airport. The morning after Patty's sudden disappearance, Officer Mike Coletta of the Utah Department of Motor Vehicles routine search for stolen cars. He noticed the California plate on the green 2003 Hyundai, called it in, and got a hit.
I found it came back with an NCIC hit of California and a homicide.
That's how I remove the skin by pounding on it. And it's easy for the skin to come out.
She looked at me and she turned right around and went right back into the room. My sergeant and I approached the room, and as we got closer to the room, she had walked back out of the room. Sergeant and I made entry into the room. As we opened the room, he yelled out to us, "Don't shoot me, I've been shot already."
It was Jaime Ramos, just barely alive.
I see these two guys coming in with arms, and then I see that it's the police, and they're telling me to freeze. You know, I put my arms up, and I wow, what's going on? They helped me out of bed, they handcuffed me.
Patty, police discovered, had been stabbed in the arm, and Jaime shot, 3 bleeding holes in him.
I was told that I was 30 minutes or so away from bleeding out.
A medic attended to Jaime's wound. A policeman searched the motel room, found gauze, medicine, hair dye, a handgun, and movies.
Now, while that's all being done, cooking
Then, as they
down,
led him across the parking lot to a waiting ambulance, Jaime watched Patty
I'm going to be
with a cop.
slicing some tomatoes
And I started to think
and getting this all set up for the next day.
that she was kidnapped.
I've already preheated the oven
That's exactly the story
at
Patty told into that day.
350. See? Got that going.
Patty claimed that Jaime
Got the timer to set that for the tacos.
grabbed the gun and told her it was a kidnapping.
She blamed
Let's
it on
slice the tomatoes up.
Mr. Ramos. She blamed the whole thing on Mr.
Gonna run some water through this also.
She had shot Mr. Ramos 3 times because he was a Catholic. What caliber of weapon was this? We later found out it was a .44 Magnum. A lot of damage? I would imagine so. But for some reason, the bullets didn't expand and they went right through him.
Jaime was taken away for medical treatment.
This is one of my favorite fruits, tomato.
The shooting, the choice of Salt Lake, even though he'd been begging Patty to drive south to Mexico.
And we're gonna dice them
He
up.
decided that Patty probably was trying to set him up to take the fall for Ron's murder.
Set them in
He
here.
also decided that maybe, for the love of Patty, he would do just that. He went over in his head the story he would tell Detective KFC.
That I did, I'm a madman. But then a faint thought of my family came through, saying, "Oh yeah, my family. What is my grandmother going to think?" So that's when I started to just say the truth, the way it really happened.
And what really happened? The truth. So much stranger than even one of Patty's convoluted lies. The truth was more like fantasy, like the plot from one of Jaime's movies.
There you go. There's your
During
tomatoes.
the interview, he actually
Got that set up. Now,
because he was putting this information out there so quickly, we couldn't even digest it.
check the vegetables and
No, it doesn't.
Jaime's story? Like none you've ever heard.
Always, I kept telling her, this is to make her happy.
Coming up,
What?
did a whole lot of them.
I put on the gloves. I wiped on the hammer.
When the seduction continues.
okay, what I'm going to do is add half of this packet to the meat.
Speak up. Successful social movements innovate. They create new kinds of politics. Stand up with Chris Hayes. 7 a.m. Saturdays, 8 a.m. Sundays on MSNBC.
And then I'm going to save a little bit for the vegetables. I'll put like about a quarter cup of water.
Everyone deserves the gift of a pain-free holiday. This season, discover Relief. All-day pain relief, which is
Quarter cup of water. And like about a half of what's left in here, not the whole thing, but a half.
Becky style.
For half the calories, plus virgin nutrition, good for the diet.
Put this away for later use.
We're going on vacation, so I used my city thank you card to pick up some
Stir this up.
accessories. A new belt, some
I'm going to add it to the
and one
vegetables.
girl worthy of new shoes. We talked about getting a diamond, but with all the thank you points I've been earning, I promised to the rock
And turn the flame up a little bit.
The City Thank You Card. Earn points you can use for travel on any airline with no blackout dates.
And pour it out. Stir this up.
Everything in the store, shirts, ties, suits, everything you need to look good at the holiday parties, no matter how many you're dragged to. You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Your computer running slowly. Thinking about buying a new one? Don't waste
And
your
the
money.
turkey meat.
Your computer could be infected with spyware, malware, viruses, or you could be experiencing registry spam, and pop-ups. With new technology, you no longer need a technician to come to your home or drop your computer at some store. Get a free diagnosis at MaxMySpeed.com and in minutes what's slowing down your computer.
They were able to diagnose him and solve problems at least 100%.
Cover it up. I'll put the flame up again. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to open up this package.
My computer is faster than it was prior. I'm a raving fan.
And we're going to do
Go to MaxMySpeed.com right now.
I normally don't add the whole thing.
What's slowing down your
I'll probably put like 3/4 of it. And it goes in with 3/4 of water, which I already have over here.
Jaime Ramos described Ron Presley as the kindest man he'd ever met. The sort of father figure he'd always wanted.
I'm going to add like 3/4 of it, or however much you like. The whole thing, half, however much you like. It's up to your taste buds.
This is his story of what he did for her the last night of Ron's life. It was after he'd lost his nerve out by the pink
Okay, I use like 3/4 of it.
Heidi called Patty, told her he couldn't go through with it. And Patty was furious. After he heard what she
Out of this packet, we're only going to use this part right here. That's what I like.
She would say,
My husband likes this, so we'll be putting this in the oven. And this, we're going to put it on top of here.
by saying this is
Heat it
wrong.
that way. And
Then she would say, if you're
what is
gonna
this?
do it, do it.
Chunky salsa.
If not, just leave.
Okay, I'm gonna put that away. Set it aside for right now.
and on the way,
We're not going to use those. And we're not going to use this. So we can put this away for now.
Conscious, that's what I do. So when I
Okay.
went inside the house,
Now,
I went and sat behind him. I was really nervous. And once again, a couple more calls from Patty. I said, Dennis,
oh, that's good.
and I
Okay. Now we're going to be using
Took my last drink.
this kind of garlic, and it comes in a bouillon
Put on the gloves.
packet.
I wiped down
And this
my
is going to go on the meat.
Ron was in his easy chair watching.
And all you have to do is just squeeze it together and it'll start coming out.
I looked myself in the reflection.
Actually, I'm going to add it to my water over here.
And I was telling myself once again, if you do this, don't turn back. You're doing this because it's right. You're doing this because you love us.
So you were sitting behind it, trying to get up your nerve.
I was thinking about
And
what she told me.
And it must be true.
And that thing must be true. This has to be true. If she tells me it's true, she
add this to this.
never lied.
Sitting there in the kitchen, he talked himself into believing Patty's tale of abuse and rape, the one that triggered his own childhood memories.
Immediately, I got the adrenaline rush because I started to feel anger. I was on my seat and I hit him on the head 3 times.
Smells good.
Quickly. He put his arms up and it sounded like a what and a why at the same time. And as he threw his arms up,
Next time I'll be making another one, which I'll be adding mushrooms to it, because I normally like it with mushrooms, but this time I didn't get any. I like to have different types of tacos at different times,
That's right.
so that it's not always the same old same old.
How dare you touch my wife that way? And I hit him on the head about 3-4 more times.
Okay, well let this cook down a bit. Let the water evaporate some, not all of it, just some.
And I dropped the hammer and I felt a relief and I
Look how
felt
nice
exhausted.
these vegetables look.
And I finally got this over with.
You know that garlic in there?
I finally
Smells good.
did justice for this woman.
To fully please Patty, Jaime still had much to do. He needed to stay Ron's day to make it look like an accident.
Okay, now
It took me about an hour to put him in the car.
we'll be using this guacamole.
I drug him all the way to the vehicle outside. And the problem was to lift him and put him in the driver's seat.
What I'm doing is setting up a little bit.
And a sheet of plywood.
I set that up, the ladder and the plywood on top, and I was dragging him up. And it was working. I got him all the way into the seat.
So we got this. We got our tomato.
That's what he was driving.
How did you
Sour cream.
SUV to the place where you knocked it out?
I sat in the middle seat, and I was using my left leg the whole time.
Look at that picture. That's a cute picture, ain't it?
And my right hand.
Make you want to not open it.
No, it was.
Okay, so I'm going to pour some of this into here because I don't want it all to get spoiled.
You just murdered.
His head was open.
That way the leftover won't get all spoiled.
Right beside you. How did you keep your sanity?
This should be good enough for dinner. Let's stir it up. Smooth it out.
Wow. 3 years ago, when I would watch this movie, never did I feel that I was going to be doing something similar to this.
Reality inside that bird was horrific. But Jaime transformed it into fantasy. Now it was nothing more than a scene from a paper.
And I just kept replaying that part in my head.
The same thing here. We'll dump some of this into here. So that way it won't all go bad.
Being in the theater with my
The
cousin
leftovers won't go bad.
Was what helped me.
Along the way, Jaime dumped the hammer, a bloody rope, and Ron's easy chair. Then at the curve over the gorge, he put all the props in place for the climax. The accident scene.
I probably should eat for dinner.
The car with gasoline. And I opened the propane tank. I lit the lighter while I put his foot in the gas pedal.
We'll do that then.
It was all hard, so it was just red.
Now, we're going to open up this salsa
Everything in flames.
and dump it in
I
here.
shut the door and I saw the car go down.
And ran to the getaway car he parked earlier behind the earthquake. At his time called for Jaime to flee southeast Texas.
Yeah.
Instead, he went west.
It's thick and
I
chunky.
actually ended up driving back to her house.